And then she said the thing I will never forget as long as I live, that the bedside manner is not a feature, it's the product. And then something happened in my life that quite honestly changed how I saw a lot of this. My father is an oncologist. He's been practicing cancer medicine for about 38 years. Very recently, he won a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Breast Cancer Association of America for his contributions. And growing up, I should tell you, I always saw my dad as a scientist, as a brilliant man who was curing lives. And I could point to these incredible outcomes and draw a line between how brilliant he was and life-saving treatments. During his time practicing breast cancer, the survival rate for this disease went from about 35% to 90%, which is in and of itself something we should celebrate all the time. And I went to his award ceremony very excited to hear people talk about my dad, the brilliant scientist. I sat at a table in a gala room flanked by my wife and mother and sister, so excited to hear people talk about him and how smart he was. And just before he received his award, a patient of his came on stage. She spoke for 5 minutes. For the first 30 seconds, she described her patient outcome. She had survived breast cancer and gone on to live a long and fulfilling life, and now she was giving back to the community. And for the next 4.5 minutes, she talked about how my dad made her feel. She described getting a breast cancer diagnosis, the fear that came over her, and then the process of interviewing oncologists. She interviewed 3 oncologists, and they all provided her the same prognosis and the same treatment recommendation. And then she said 2 things I will never forget. She said she realized that the machine was now smarter than the doctor, that the science had progressed far enough that the machine could actually determine the next best action better than the doctor could. And then she said the thing I will never forget as long as I live, that the bedside manner is not a feature, it's the product. And that changed my life. I realized in that moment my dad was not important to the community because he was brilliant at this point. He was important now because he was kind and caring and courageous and compassionate. The same qualities I loved in him as a father, so too did his patients love in him. And I also realized that if medical oncology, which we have long exalted as the pinnacle of cognitive processing in medicine, could cognitively commoditize, then what role wouldn't? And I decided that as long as I lived, if someone asked, what should I get great at? What my father taught me is that soft skills, that humanistic qualities are actually measures of human achievement. And if you can get great at anything, get great at adaptability and curiosity and empathy and courage and wisdom and humor.